Noon, happy lunchtime, everybody.
Hey.
Jen has not gotten over her Snapchat problem yet, but we'll work on it.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? Jen and Becca and me. I'm Vic Porcelli. This is Porcelli's Deli, the internet version. Do you like that?
Yeah.
The,
Pors-
the podcast. Or
Porcelli's Deli, the
vodka.
podcast.
The vodka.
Oh, sorry. Porcelli's Deli, the vodcast.
There we go.
We need a big voice guy, or maybe we need Deb to say it.
Well, do you need a latte? I can get you one.
What if Deb was to introduce the show every day? How would it sound?
Welcome to the show.
Joey, it's Estelle.
Oh my God. Today's show is brought to you by Drive On Motorsports.
It is brought to you by Drive On Motorsports and our friend Sam Alvarez, who I got to meet for the only time at our, help me out.
St. Louis Small Business Independence Day celebration.
How do you remember that? That's so many words. I can never remember
I
that.
remember lots of things.
Nah. So Sam came in and told us a little bit about what Drive On Motorsports is, and here's what it is. First of all, Sam served our country in Iraq. He is a is usable if you just use your hands, if that's your problem, or whatever it is. Sam will make sure that it's perfect, and driveonmotorsports.org is where you find them. And the good news is that Sam is coming here tomorrow to speak with us.
Yes,
and I can't wait to talk to him again.
mid-show.
Now, what are you smirking and laughing
I
about?
have my own Snapchat, so.
You're always smirking and laughing at something. Oh, jeez, there it is. What do I hear?
It's my fault. I'm trying to just see the comments if they come. My bad. Well, thank you, Drive On Motorsports.
Thank you
for
so much.
allowing us to talk about you and to put the show on.
And we'd also like to talk about our partnership with Joda, who I absolutely love. Got to talk to Joda during the...
St. Louis Small Business Independence Day celebration.
I'm counting on you for that.
I know.
Don't make fun of me and give me that look, okay?
Every time you point to Becca,
Right, when I point to Becca, you say,
St. Louis Small Business Independence Day celebration.
which I think is incredibly important to get out there and support small business, which is exactly what NextCore is. And we'll talk about NextCore. By the way, we are live in the NextCore podcast studio, and that's where we do the podcast. So Joda has two things going on. She's got Nona's Mutt Balls.
no sound.
That's what I was told.
How?
I don't know.
Well, I see the sound.
Okay.
I heard the sound on the thing that came back through the machine. Maybe it was just on that one screen.
Maybe.
All right. Well, thanks, Peanut Gallery Tech Help.
Who is the peanut gallery?
We now
It's
have
Rick.
sound.
I like Rick.
Yeah, he looks out for us out in O'Fallon.
I like you, Rick. So, Joda has two things going on. She has Nona's Mutt Balls, which are nutritious treats for your dogs, as opposed to all the crap that my dogs eat. By the way, while we're talking about treats, can I just throw in that my wife is the worst dog spoiler in the world, okay? My dogs, does Rex like to go out?
Oh, yeah.
When he comes back in, does he want to go back out? That's all my dogs do, is
Yeah.
want to go out, then they come in, and then they want to go out, and every time they come in, they got to get a treat. Because if I go sit on the couch and don't get them a treat, my wife goes, "What, Daddy didn't get you a treat? Go tell Daddy to get you a treat." And they know what that means, and they come and they bother me, and I got to go get them a treat. So It's not as nutritious and healthy for your dogs, though, as Nona's mutt balls.
Absolutely not.
Now, Nona's mutt balls are so delicious that if you had 9 puppies, which Joda had, and you leave some freshly made bacon on the table, they will ignore the bacon and go right for the mutt balls, which you witnessed firsthand.
I sure did. We
Yeah.
went to our house. I know it reminds me, I have my security cameras at home, and for a while, one of my solutions with Rex was just to leave the back door open.
You have a yard?
Yeah,
fenced in?
of course.
Great.
Fenced in yard, and
Great.
he doesn't really stray or jump out. I'm sure that he could just leap over the fence if he wanted to, but he just hangs around.
So no fear of an intruder hopping the fence and walking into the house.
I think that he would attack them.
Well, here's the
Or
thing.
He would knock them over at least.
He would lick them to death. But I think that people would not come into the fence because of the dog, even if they know, if they don't know that he's not dangerous. But he looks like he could mess you up.
That's my problem with Phantom. Phantom is 100 pounds.
Right.
Okay? He is a Newfoundland Standard Poodle mix. He's a husky boy, and he has a bark like he will bite your head off if you enter our house. The problem is, if you do enter the house, all you got to say is, "Who's a good boy?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'm a good boy. Yeah, hi, how you doing? Hey, can you get me a treat? They're up there."
Oh man, did you see that news story about that woman who broke into someone's house, washed the dishes, and petted their dog and left?
Oh my God, that's so creepy.
I
I
hate
mean,
that
it's very
problem.
nice, but it's very creepy.
All the comments were like, "When is she available to come to my house?"
When is she available to break into my house?
Oh, so the rest of my story I didn't get.
I'm sorry, go
so
ahead.
I've got the security cameras and they notify me every time Rex does anything. I take
So it
a little-
notifies you constantly.
Constantly. So it takes a little clip, and I have literally from that period of time just hundreds of photos of him going in and out and in.
It's so funny.
It really is all they do all day. It's like he gets outside, he wants to come in.
Oh, I don't know. It looked like he was doing something else.
So,
We'll-
yeah,
we'll,
we'll
we'll,
get to
we'll look
that
at that in a
later.
minute. So, okay, so Joda has Nona's Mutt Balls. Find out more about that on her Nona's Mutt Balls page on Facebook. And Tempo of the Dog. That's Tempo of the Dog. And that is her fostering adoption experiment or project, shall we say.
Yes.
And she's got some new puppies, doesn't she?
They just became available for foster. They have to be. This is kind of a great deal. It's like a 3-for-1. You have to take 3 puppies at once because they're still so young. They need to be.
This is just for
socialized.
fostering?
I think this group of puppies is just for fostering.
Okay.
But you know how foster fails sometimes, and it kind of leads to adoption. But these are the guys that need help. We have Almond Brothers,
No.
Georgia.
Oh. Oh, my God.
What?
Please tell me my wife is not watching.
Remember, it's a 3-for-1 deal.
Oh, God.
But what a great experience to have, and then get to just get out of it.
He looks
I
like
think
my
fostering's a
doggy.
great deal.
He
This
looks like
guy's
who?
name is Alabama Shakes.
Alabama Shakes! I love the Alabama
That
Shakes.
guy.
I wonder if she has a cavernous mouth like the singer from Alabama Shakes. When she sings, man, her mouth gets so big, and she's pulling it up, She's pulling up those vocals. Boy, these dogs are just awesome. Now, who's this?
This is the Doobie Brother.
The
Aw.
Doobie Brothers. Boy number 3.
Oh,
Oh, my God.
the old CCR.
Oh, wow. I love that she loves rock and roll and names
I
these
know,
dogs after
how
rock and roll.
cool.
Absolutely love. God, I hope my wife is not watching. Who's that?
This is Van Zant.
What?
Van
Zant.
Zant.
Oh, Van Zant.
Van Zant.
Yeah, Stevie Van Zant. Oh, actually, it could be a Leonard Skinner reference because they were Van Zants too, Ronnie Van Zant.
Either way, he's very dignified.
God, they're
There's a
awesome.
lot of them.
Who's that?
Oh, sorry. Oh my goodness, that's Zach Brown Band.
I think
This
Jen
is-
forgot she's doing a show. She's just, oh my God, the
I'm
puppies.
Just looking at
I
the
love it.
puppies now. This is Leonard Skinner.
Okay. So the other one must have been Leonard Skinner reference too with Van Zant. Go ahead. So this is Zach Brown Band.
Yes. he's
Next.
Too cute. And we're back to the Almond Brothers.
That's okay.
That's only
Just
7.
go get-
Oh, I'm sorry. I always have 9 on the brain because Joda has puppies 9 at a
Yeah,
time.
I'm not positive that these are the puppies that she had, or
If you go back up,
look at all these comments.
because they were saying how old they are.
It says
They
need-
turn 10 weeks old when they go to their adoptive homes. That's about right. It could be them.
I think it is them.
Well, these need to be fostered in groups of 3 until they turn 10 weeks old. so they can go to their
Oh,
adoptive
until they
homes.
turn.
So they're not quite,
They're 8 weeks old now.
yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, that could have
So
been
you
them.
can't adopt them yet because they're too young. Is that the idea?
Exactly. And it's puppies really need other puppy time
Oh, I get that.
when they're puppies, so they can learn stuff like.
I think
Rex
nobody
did
should
not,
have just one dog.
Right?
Don't.
I think
say
dogs
that.
need another dog to keep them
My
active,
husband is
keep them-
cursing you right now.
I'm sorry, Rick. But how about that music we played yesterday, Rick? That was great. Right?
I think so.
Is what without sound?
This other screen. All right, I think I've got it down now. So
Okay.
we'll
We're good?
We'll stay out of there. Yes. So speaking of,
So Temple of the Dog, Facebook page. Go there. Send Joda a hi. Tell her we said hi, and we're gonna have her on occasionally too. And hopefully, what I really hope happens out of this is that we have puppies in here, so people can see and we can play with the puppies, which is just an extra added kind of fringe benefit of doing the show. And maybe we'll get some forever homes for these dogs, which is the most important thing.
absolutely.
Speaking of, how's Rex? Let's check up on Rex.
Yeah, look, we have a
Let's see if
the Rex
oh,
cam. And
oh, that's not good. And then he jumps on you. You got to stop that
then
jumping
he
thing.
jumps on me. I'm not sure how to stop that.
I
Rex,
told you how to stop
Rex
it.
woke up at 8 o'clock this morning. He's not on any of the cams right now, so I'm not sure what he's doing.
So this was a past mess. The one you were showing us?
That was the mess that happened when I got home last night.
Okay.
After the show, this is what I came home to.
If you bring him in here, I will break him of that jumping thing.
Okay.
Bring him in here 3 times.
He'll be here
By the
tomorrow.
3rd time, I will have him broken of that jumping thing.
So here's another fun thing. I took him on a walk yesterday right before the storm. Beautiful day. I mean, did you know we have beaches in St. Louis?
We don't have an ocean. How does that work?
I found a lovely beach next to my house down by the river.
What is the beach connected to?
We chose not to stroll along it.
Check out this nice
That's where all the
beach.
dead bodies are right there. Every dead body missing in St. Louis is right there.
I think I see one.
This is the closest to ocean.
All right, I don't think you should even go down there.
Live again.
Let's go back and look at the burnt
God,
fire.
he's such a good-looking dog.
That's what people say.
He is such a good-looking dog. And he will not be trouble long. Don't. He's still a puppy. No, he's
Check
not.
this
So
out.
He's
Right.
under 2 years old, so we could say
So
I
he's
don't
not
know
a
what
puppy, so we
happened
gotta break
here,
him
but
all
it
this
looks
stuff.
like it used to be a car.
This is another
Why do I
other
hear?
thing.
What do I hear?
This is my sound on my thing.
Okay.
Let me turn that.
That's fine.
So the reason why I show you this is because I let him kind of slipped out of my leash, and it's right by the train tracks. And I don't know about you, but walking near train tracks is kind of like walking over graves. It just scares the crap out of me. And so here he goes on his own. First thing he does
Yeah.
is run through the bushes, right through the train tracks.
Is there video evidence
Oh,
of this?
yeah.
Okay. So this is just a walk. Okay, now he's off the leash.
Here he goes. He's having a good time.
This is your loophole thing,
I
right?
very-
He's on the leash.
I very clearly say, don't go to the train tracks. And here he goes.
Maybe you shouldn't have brought up the train tracks at all, because he would have said, "Oh, train tracks."
So I got to walk through
Oh,
that mess. And here we are, just scared. Terrified.
So do you know the schedule of these trains? You have
I
no idea if a
don't
train's going to come
know.
rumbling down?
Not very often, but holy cow. He does this every time. I should probably stop letting go of the leash by the train tracks.
Yeah, lesson learned.
Are you the person who uses this as a loophole? You're the one?
Yes.
Because
But
Jen says, what? If a cop comes by, your dog's got to be on a leash. Well, it's on the leash.
I like to go to Carondelet because the only people there normally are living there, and they're all in their own little holes. So it's a very spacious and expansive park, and probably won't run into, if you go like when it's really hot out or kind of cold, he can run a little bit. He can chase some squirrels.
Yeah.
He does the last.
How does he do with the squirrel chasing?
He cannot climb trees, and so
Right.
he kind of fails.
Yeah.
Because Phantom takes 2 steps and then it's like, oh man, forget it.
Oh, no, he gives it a go.
And we have a garden, right? So there's squirrels and chipmunks all over the garden, and he'll be out the back door like, oh my God, I want to get that squirrel, I want to get the chipmunk, I want to get that squirrel. I'm like, okay. I open the door, and then the squirrel runs to a tree, and then do you see a squirrel climb a tree? They don't go straight up, they go around it, and that's when he gets completely lost. He's like, wait a minute, there was a squirrel here just a minute ago. But with your train tracks, can I tell you a quick train track story?
Yes.
My father, when we were young, wanted to make sure we were always safe. And he would lie to us to make sure that we were safe. And he said, don't play by the train tracks. Because when I was young, I played by the train tracks, and my friend got his foot caught in the track, and the train came by and cut off his foot. That didn't happen.
Oh my goodness.
That didn't happen. He lied to us just to keep us safe. When 4th of July would come, he'd show us a picture of a hand with like fingers blown off of it. So there's only like 2 fingers on the hand. See this? This kid played with fireworks. He completely lied to us just to keep us safe, which I guess is good. Yes, it's good.
I mean, did you play with fireworks?
No, never
See?
did. Never played by the train tracks either.
Exactly.
Yep. So, bottom line to your story, no train.
No tracks. Yes.
No train came by the tracks?
No.
Good.
I've never seen a train come by that track.
And this is Carondelet Park you're talking about? Oh, no,
No,
this is
this
that
is-
crazy beach you found.
This is just kind of like, I live near the river, and so if we go on a long walk, I call it, we go down, and then there's another path, and you can walk along the
River de Pere?
beautiful river. No, this is whatever's in front of the arch. What is that?
That's the Mississippi.
The Mississippi,
Yeah.
yes.
So you live downtown.
No,
No.
it's just
You drove to this place.
The river goes far.
Oh, I'm sorry. So your reference to the arch had nothing to do with your excursion. It just happens to be the same river.
Yes, sir.
Now we understand each other.
Confusing
It's along
me.
the walk. So
Okay.
if I want to go a little bit further, I take them down there, and you gotta go all the way down and then all the way back.
Mm-hmm.
So
He's a great dog. He's a great looking dog. He just needs a little bit of help.
yeah.
Every doggy needs a little help.
So I heard you had a great dinner last night.
We're there already? No, we're not there already.
Okay, where do you want to be?
You got any questions for me? On an event that happens every 4 years? Are you following the thing that we made before we went on the air?
No, I clearly.
Should I just follow it and let you know where we are?
All right,
I have the word Olympics right now.
you lead.
Ah, Olympic music. I do love the Olympics. I do love the special, worthless gift. By the way, Becca told me about Rick's special talent. He can fall asleep while she's talking to him. Which I think is hysterical, because you're probably saying, are you going to clean the kitchen? Are you going to do... Oh, I'm sorry, honey, I'm asleep. So my crazy, worthless talent is I can name any city that the Summer Olympics were in. All you have to do is give me a year, and I'll tell you the city. If I have a story about it, I'll tell you a story.
All right, 2016.
Rio. Last Olympics that there have been. We were supposed to have one this year, you know, and we didn't. There was
Yeah.
no Olympics this year because of COVID.
Where would it have been?
Tokyo. All right, so I passed that test today. And you can...
Do you have
So-
any interesting factoids about the Rio Olympics?
We did well.
You
Okay.
did well.
There's no real big story for me in this one. I mean, there are some Olympics where I just would lose my mind about stuff and tell you stuff. Some of that I've seen, not the 1904 Olympics like you two believe, but I have seen a lot of the Olympics, and I love the Olympics. And it's just a stupid talent I have.
Now, Vic,
Yes.
I have to correct you on one thing about
Yeah.
this useless talent of my husband's. It's not just that he can fall asleep.
Oh.
It's that when he falls asleep, he still hears me. And I wake him up and he says, I heard everything you said, though. And he does.
Okay.
He
So
recites it right back to me.
coming from the husband's point of view, he wasn't asleep. He was ignoring you.
No, he was asleep. He's snoring, like, dead asleep. Like, I have to yell at his name 4 times before he wakes up. He's like, I was awake the whole time.
If you're
He's
a
watched
husband,
movies
Do
like
you
this.
take advantage of that and subliminally train him while he's sleeping?
oh, that's
No.
a great idea.
No, but he's done it to me. That's actually how he proposed, was he was asleep.
Okay.
So does it still count?
I mean, obviously.
Wait, I
it does.
proposed? I wasn't even awake.
Was he awake for the wedding at least? Come
I
on,
slept
Rick.
through that too, probably, right?
You just
I almost did.
push him down the aisle.
I'm not trying to pile on, Rick. I'm just saying it's
Not
pretty funny.
handicapped, he's
Pretty
just
funny.
asleep.
Let's see. Jason Rauschelbach.
He's the one who owns the dog training company. He says, I love the direction this is headed. The show is going to the dog.
I get it. He's a dog trainer.
Yes. We do like puppies. It's not that we don't like cats. It's just
I have
that
4
I
cats.
don't like cats.
Can I tell you a
Cats.
quick factoid about the Porcelli cats?
Yes.
We have 4 of them, and they seem to have some sort of designated survivor system. You know what the designated survivor is? When the president has like the State of the Union address, everybody is there at the Capitol. Everybody in the cabinet, vice president, every member of Congress, every member of Senate, every member of, the Secretary of Agriculture is there. So one of the people that are in his cabinet does not go to the State of the Union just in case terrorists blow up the Capitol and everybody dies. You have somebody left. And my cats have a designated survivor system. In the morning, they will be in the kitchen. 3 of them will show up. Where's Skimbleshanks? Oh, he must be the designated survivor, just in case I kill them all. He would still be left to carry on the tradition of being spoiled cats besides the spoiled dogs in my house.
My goodness. Yes, I forget you have a whole zoo.
I have the whole what?
A zoo.
Yes. And there are some fish updates if you want to hear those.
Fish, yeah.
There is a tank that is just shrimp. No fish, just shrimp. I know you want to Cajun style them. Stay away from my shrimp. One of them already had babies, and there's like little tiny baby shrimpies kind of swimming around the tank. And there's another pregnant one. So we're going to have baby shrimpies. Now, one of the bettas, we like to say beta because it just sounds cooler. Beta's just, beta,
Beta is better.
is right. Yeah. Beta is beta. That's how Deb would say it. How would Deb say it?
Beta is better.
Exactly right. And she, most of the time when you go to the store and get a beta, they're in a little cup.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Which is so, if we hit the lottery, we're going to buy all the betas, I believe, because she hates that they're in these little cups.
Dream big.
So the one, though, that we have, whose name is Rosie, is red, and she was not purchased in a cup. She was purchased from a tank. So guess what? She's pregnant. Now, well, she wasn't in a cup. She was in a tank with other fish, with other betas.
Right.
So clearly there was some hanky-panky going on in the tank, is what I'm saying.
Can betas breed with other types of fish, or do
no, are you kidding me? They don't even want to exist with other fish. Betas are the most temperamental, spoiled brats in the fish world, which is why we have them. So what happens is the male beta finds the and it's funny when the male beta wants to mate, they make like a bubble nest. Like they make these little bubbles with their mouth, and you see like all these bubbles, and it looks like almost like a net. So then the girl beta comes, and then they kind of do this. The male beta goes around her like that, and then she just starts dropping eggs all over the place, like tons of eggs. And then the craziest thing is, then the job is left to the male.
To fertilize the eggs.
Yeah. So you take the female out of the tank and put it somewhere else, and then the male takes all of the babies and puts them in those little bubbles, one at a time, and then he takes care of them until they're born. Isn't that amazing?
Unfair. That's what that is.
So what is your
Penguin guys do the same thing.
A pregnant beta doesn't have a father.
I'm sorry. What was the question?
She doesn't have. Well, who's the baby's daddy?
I'm not sure how that works.
He left behind. She left him.
So is there?
I think because the shrimp just grow the eggs themselves.
Right.
They don't have to do the thing. And then when she has the eggs, the other shrimp, the male shrimp, they swim around like, hey, pick me. Hi, how are you? Hey, how about me? I'd be a good dad. As they swim by. I swear to God.
If you want to learn a little more, that's called asexual
reproduction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
do you remember?
I know things.
Do you remember the movie War Games?
No.
When Matthew Broderick just wanted to play computer games,
yes,
so he picks Global. If you don't, though, if she doesn't have them, she could get I forget what it's called, but it's like she could get all stuffed up.
Ingrown
and
babies.
Yes, I
Should be all
guess.
stuffed up.
Like if the eggs don't come out and
Well,
produce,
Why wouldn't they?
because the male has to do that thing.
Oh.
They're not fertilized.
If she doesn't do that thing, she's like, I ain't dropping no eggs.
This is a conundrum.
So we were still, last night, my wife can figure out everything. She's got the tube over here, she's got the filter over there, she's got the siphon thing that goes from one to the other. So we'll see what happens with that.
You need to pimp out your fish.
What?
It's
Yeah,
the only
you-
way to do it is you're going to have to pimp out your
Get
fish.
yourself a side of the road stand and just start peddling beta fish.
Beta for sale! Betas!
Listen, if we could adopt out dogs.
You should be able to adopt fish, foster the fish.
Yeah.
Foster fish. What does she uses a phrase. Oh, she says, survival of the fishest.
Excellent.
All right, so that's Rex, that's the Olympics, and that's everything. Okay, so one of the things about Porcel. Tell us a little bit about what NextCore does and what NextCore can do for you in your small business.
NextCore is located in South City, but we have become more than just a location because we have the internet, and we are adapting to the times, and so we offer a wide variety of services from being a mailbox or a phone answering system to getting your whole business set up online.
Right.
Your Google account, your social media, we can help you get it all together.
Marketing, right?
Marketing, website development, lots of things. Video, you need to make an ad, produce a spot, we can help you out. If you want to also produce a podcast, we can get you going. So
I love it.
come visit us here as a location or visit us online.
Address
at
is?
2631 Gravois.
No.
Yes, it is.
3126.
Wait a minute.
No.
It's Jeter, Tori, Ruth, and Martin. Yeah, 2631.
It's 2631 Gravois.
And we are in the studio here in the podcast studio at NextCore, and if you walk out this door and walk to the left, you'll see a big workspace, and there's always people in there. So explain a little bit, like if your business is just you and you just need a place to be and you need a desk and you need a
We've got coffee, we've got a
oh,
printer.
we've got coffee.
We have
Oh, yeah.
everything that you kind of need, and it's,
Conference rooms?
working at home sucks. Let's just put it briefly. Because then when you're done working, you're still at home. And then you before you know it, you've been at home 5 days, 10 days in
Agreed.
a row.
But
And so
the only positive is the commute is really short, which is great.
it is just
kitchen,
from the bathroom
coffee table
to
back
the
But like you said, that can get very tedious and very boring.
it does, and you kind of lose creativity.
And you need social interaction in your life.
Absolutely.
So if you want to rent an office, how does that work? Call you?
You can call go to the nextcore.com and call the number at the top of the screen.
That's the nextcore.com.
Yes, thenextcore.com. And they will get you set up. We might be running some deals right now because we do
Ooh.
have a lot of empty spaces, but
So there's room for you.
there's room for you here at the Nextcore.
There's room for you here at the
Your
NextCore.
friends, your future friends and coworkers are waiting for you.
And look at all the fun we have here. You could be part of the fun. Could we have fun? It's a very low-key, casual, kind of place with a nice kitchen
Very casual.
Yes, it is.
and 2 choices of coffee
Every day, all
every
day
day.
long.
2 days, 2 different choices
Switch
of
it
coffee.
up every time from time to time too.
Yeah.
It's also a great place if you have a client and you want to go have a meeting, and especially in the pandemic-y times that we're in, Starbucks can't really even. Can you even go and sit down at Starbucks anymore? I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Don't know.
But we have several conference rooms here that are all set up. You can cast to the screen. You can be 6 feet away from each
The
other.
facilities are amazing.
And have a professional meeting, even though you spend the rest of the time working on your kitchen table.
Right.
So it's a great asset to have as a business owner.
Perfect, perfect. So thenextcore.com, get all the information you need. This is Porcelli's Deli. We go at noon every day, Monday through Thursday. Just a little plug for our Friday show. Friday at 9 a.m. we have Coffee with Vic.
Because we like to torture ourselves.
Cool. What we do is, well, see, it's less
Very
torture.
early.
It's less torture because at least it's only an hour with me you have to spend, and not 2 that day. See? And you're done with me by earlier in the day, and you're free to, womp and fwawick in the forest.
And at 2 p.m., Nextcore opens the beer cooler.
That's true.
To what?
2 p.m., Nextcore opens the beer cooler.
They do?
They
Yeah.
do. You didn't know that?
Nobody told me that at 2 o'clock Nextcore opens the beer cooler.
Only on Fridays.
See, now he's gonna
Oh.
stick around later on Fridays.
And
You know it.
actually, we've been terrible. It's not empty, and they won't refill it until we've drunk all of the beer.
I will see what I can do for you there, Jen.
It's a lot of IPA.
I will
Yeah.
do my best
That's
to,
the problem.
to
It's-
rid
yeah, it's-
your
it's-
company of the IPA. I will help.
We're going to need your help.
Yeah.
Come on
India
down.
Pale Ale.
Hang around the Nextcore on Fridays. It's
So
a
that's
good
the
time.
rundown on the Nextcore. We're here, the 3 of us, every Monday through Thursday, noon to 2, and we do have a musical segment which we're about to get into now. Going back to that weekend of the
St. Louis Small Business Independence Day
We-
celebration.
now, if I can't count on you,
Sorry.
okay. I'm kidding.
That was a hard logo to design, let me tell you. It's too many. It was like a sentence.
The only reason I remembered how to say it that whole weekend was because I read it off my shirt. I'm not kidding. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, St. Louis.
And that's why we got those shirts made.
So the small business, the concept of small business can be a person who has a few employees, or it can be somebody who just works on their own, like Jennifer Hayes, who we talked to, the abstract painter, who is a delightful person to talk to. And every time we talked to her, as smart as she is, she had one of her paintings right over her shoulder there to tell us about it.
I'm glad you brought her up because she popped up in this video on accident, and it's kind of hilarious.
Oh, why were we waiting for Ron?
Yeah,
Got it.
and he was taking a minute, and so you'll see.
So a musician was late? Is that what you're saying? I don't believe it.
Nuh-uh.
I think that's wrong.
It might have been my fault
Oh,
somehow.
well, that I could believe.
Somehow, some way, since I was kind of in control of everything.
So coming up, before we get to Ron, I just want to tell you, coming up, the deli also has to be all about food. And what a wonderful, I mean wonderful, food experience we had last night at the Porcelli House. We will tell you about that in full coming up. But first, we spoke to Ron Sally, whose small business is himself as a musician. And he's a really cool guy, and I got to sit and talk with him during the,
St. Louis Small Business Independence Day celebration.
and this is how it sounded. And why?
We want to talk to Ron Sally. Ron, how you doing tonight?
Good, great. How are you?
I know you're a local artist. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where can we see you play?
Well, you can see Selena and I, we performed together. We've been at Filoni's on Manchester. It's kind of in Dogtown. We've been there for about 8 years or so. We're every other Thursday there.
And are you a songwriter as well, Ron?
I do write some, yes, but yeah.
How long have you been playing?
I started when I was really young in probably right about 1967. And I played drums first, and then I switched to guitar through the years. And so probably over 40 years.
Wow. Holy cow. And so playing guitar is something that you love to do. And when people
Oh
can
my
come-
gosh, yes.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah. Tell us a little bit about the joy you get just from playing guitar.
Oh my gosh, you know, when I played drums as a kid, I would hear these different guitar players, and the music that was coming out at that time was so great and influential. And you know as well as I do some of the great artists, Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix, and these guys had such a great effect on me. And I learned to play blues first, and I think that is the most influential thing that any guitarist could do is listen and learn to some of these great songs that these old blues artists wrote, because it's just timeless, and it always has more feeling in their phrasing, rather than just a flurry of notes that some guys can play. And I've never been one to rip off just a barrage. I'm a little more like that slow hand kind of thing.
It all starts there. It all starts with the blues. And, one of my favorite stories is when Mick Jagger was paying the GIs to bring him back American blues records. And he played Keith Richards, a Robert Johnson song. And Keith asked, "Who's the other guitar player?" And Mick Jagger said that there is no other guitar player. It's just him. Yeah. So you're right. The blues is really where it all starts. And I'm so glad to hear you say that, because I'm a big, big blues fan.
Great. Yeah. I played in Soulard for a couple of years with a friend of mine, God rest his soul. His name was a wonderful blues guitar player. He had a great impact on me after playing covers for so many years. I played down on the Landing with a group that was pretty popular, and sort of got off my path of who I really was, and who I am. And it was so refreshing to meet somebody like him and sort of like re-inspire me into what I'm supposed to be doing. And,
absolutely. Ron, I love your story. I love that you're still playing guitar all these years later, and I thank you for being with us tonight. Okay.
Oh, God bless you, man. I really appreciate your time, and
all right,
thank
Ron.
you so much.
All right. Have a good night.
Ron Smalley. I really like that guy.
Ron Sally.
Ron Sally's good too.
Yeah.
God, I'm such an idiot. I'm so sorry. Ron Sally is such a great guy, and he is a kind of the same era as me. He's a little bit older, but he started playing music in '67. The Summer of Love, and he's like loves Hendrix and all these people. And he's a good musician himself. And we have some video of him actually.
We do. I went to. He plays live at the Parkside Grill in Chester. It's right by your house.
I gotta get out there.
And I ran out there and took some footage of him just killing it on the guitar with a vocalist named Selena Ortega.
Let's do it. Ron Sally and Selena Ortega on Porcelli's Deli.
A couple of songs.
With my tail in the air, the cat, but I'm a lady's cat. Feline gets another man that's that. You can shoot on at me if I meet no man. I get my dinner from the garbage can. Fight. How at the moonlight on a high summer night, well, I'm singing the blues for the lady cat crying. And hey, cat, you're a real gone guy. Wish I could be as every while, but I got and I got cat style.
Lovers in the night, always trying to ride. We don't know how to ride, but damn we try. But all I really know is where I wanna go. The part of me that's you will never die. So when I'm all choked up and I can't find the words, and every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. But when the sun goes down and the wind won't play, I'll always remember us this way. Oh yeah, I don't wanna be just a memory, baby. Ooh, ooh, so when I'm all choked up and I can't find the words, and every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. So when the sun goes down and the wind won't play, I'll always remember us this way. Yeah, yeah, when you look at me and the whole world fades, I'll always remember us this way.
Selena, wasn't that beautiful? Nice.
Thank you.
Nice, baby.
I don't want it all. Just want a little bit. Don't want it all. Want a little bit. Wanna eat it with it, bit. Teeny bit of love. Turn the lights down low. Baby, just one kiss. And I know I just can't resist. Wanna eat it with it, bit. Teeny bit of your love. Have a good little bit. Call my job. Tell the folks I won't be here. Call my job. Tell the folks I won't be here. After Friday, Saturday, Sunday, honey, I've had you. But weekend. Call my job. Somebody operating my machine. Call my job. Somebody operate my machine.
Parkside tonight, y'all. Rocky, Gene, Nancy, our host. So good to be back. See ya. Love our buddies out there. Call my job. Something like that. Thank you.
Sally.
2 E's. That was wrong on that video I just caught. My bad.
Oh, just one E?
There's 2 E's.
There is 2 E's, but we put one
If
E.
you look them up on Facebook, it's 2 E's.
That was Ron Sally and Selena Ortega from the Parkside Grill, which is in Chesterfield, I believe. And you can also catch Selena and Ron at Filoni's this Thursday at 6:30. Liked him a lot. Really good guy.
Yeah, so funny story. When he agreed to call in, he did not know that you were involved. And so he just thought he was calling into some, live show with whatever. And then it's boom, Vic Porcelli is on the line, ready to talk to you. And he got off the call there and he sent me an email. He was so tickled because he's a lifelong fan of yours.
That's so nice.
You really made his day. So if you go see him live, I bet that he will at least give you a virtual high five.
I'll take the virtual high five. I'll take the virtual high five. Thanks, Ron. Appreciate that. Very kind words. And he is a good guy and great music. And it was great to have him on. I want to say hi to David Carter from New Jersey saying hi. Debbie Morris from right in here in St. Louis saying hi as well. And we've got some great food talk coming up.
Yeah.
But first,
Did you know?
did I know what?
Denali's delivers.
It does deliver.
Denali delivers. Here's how it works. Make a list of what you need. We source from Home Depot or the hardware store of your choice. Text the list to 314-499-2992 to start your order. Then Denali delivers your order on a scheduled delivery date. Denali delivers.
Oh, shoot.
Hey, come over here, kid. Learn something. You never know, you might have to cook for 20 guys someday. You see? You start out with a little bit of oil, and you fry some garlic. Then you throw in some tomatoes, tomato paste. You fry it, you make sure it doesn't stick. You got it to a boil, you shove in all your sausage and your meatballs. Huh? And a little bit of wine. And a little bit of sugar. And that's my trick. Why don't you cut the crap?
On making his red sauce.
I love that that video was clearly just a video of a video playing on another device.
I didn't realize that when I sent it to you. I'm sorry, because it looked better. It looked better when I watched it at home.
The old YouTube trick.
Yeah. So one quick thing about that clip, that was obviously from the Godfather in 1972, and what's going on there is the Corleone family is going to go to they're going to war with the other families. So in the mafia world, there's a phrase called "go into the mattresses," and go into the mattresses. We played that clip because last night we had eggplant parmesan, okay? But last night's eggplant parmesan was made with eggplants from our garden. We have this garden outside, and there they are, freshly harvested in a basket. And so if you go to the store and buy eggplants, that's the biggest one on top there. The rest of them aren't quite so impressive as far as size goes, because when you go to the supermarket, the eggplants are enormous and huge. And ours weren't really huge, but they were delicious nonetheless. So that was step one, obviously, harvesting the eggplant. Now, if you've ever had an eggplant sandwich, or if you've ever had an eggplant parmesan from anywhere, and it tasted bitter to you, the reason is because the bitterness wasn't pressed or squeezed out of the eggplant.
God damn it. What?
Got a problem?
She says we lost sound, but I don't think that's true.
I'd hear it coming out of your thing if it was working, right? Because your thing's been talking all morning. Hello?
Okay.
All right. So, so you have to squeeze the bitterness out of the eggplant. So you slice it up, right? First you have to peel that skin off, that purple skin off, and then you slice them
You guys had an interesting system for the squeezing.
Well, yes, but it doesn't matter what it is as long as it's heavy. You know, I've come home and if my wife's making eggplant and you see like wine bottles and encyclopedias all around the kitchen, you know she's squeezing the eggplant. So last night there was just the one batch. So here was our squeezing method from last night. On the bottom there is the bowl with the eggplant in it. On top of that is 20 pounds of sand, because we have sand all over because of the fish tanks. On top of that is a box with 6 jars of peanut butter that we're going to mail out. That's in the Amazon box. And then on top of that is a bin with various nail polish and girly stuff, and of course the Yahtzee game on top. So we piled all that up. Oh, I'm sorry. Before she did that, she salts them. She salts the eggplant.
Okay.
Okay. Then you squeeze them all out. Then you take all that stuff off. You change the paper towels, and the paper towels are all wet with what you're squeezing out of it. Whatever it is that makes it taste bitter is all getting squeezed out of it. And took it out, changed the paper towels, put new paper towels in there, then loaded it all back up again. And so all the bitterness was squeezed out. And then you put it in the oven. So you put it in a Pyrex pan. Is that called Pyrex, that clear pan?
Yes, I believe so. Or glass.
Yeah. And so you put a layer of, is she here? Is she with us?
Not yet. That I know of.
You put a layer of,
Oh wait, we are waiting to admit her.
Jessica!
Can you hear? Wait, we're gonna have to switch to. Can you hear me, Jessica?
I can't. Just had to unmute myself.
Okay, right on. We are.
Can you hear me?
I can.
That's unfortunate for you, I guess. But here I am. All right, so we were just going over the pressing method there. We have the picture up of the eggplant, and then the 20 pounds of sand that we just happen to have in the house because of the fish tanks, 6 jars of peanut butter, a bin full of nail polish and girly stuff, and the Yahtzee game. Now explain why that pressing is so important.
Because if you don't, the eggplant would be very bitter. So you have to salt the eggplant and then paper towels all around it, and then just squeeze. The salt draws the juice out, the bitter juice out of the eggplant.
And a lot of people don't do that, right? You could go to a restaurant or somewhere and get an eggplant sandwich, and they might not do that.
That has happened to me a number of times. I was excited for my eggplant sandwich, bit into it, and spit it out and threw it away. Yeah, a lot of places will cut the eggplant real thick and not salt it or press it, and it's just bitter and nasty, which is probably why a lot of people hate eggplant.
It does get a bad rap. Well, it's so much labor.
Oh, it's
for not much flavor. But it looks like you guys came up with something delicious.
Well, these are eggplants, as we mentioned, grown from our garden. And Jess, I know that, you know what I forgot to even mention? The sauce, or as we call it in Jersey, what do we call it in Jersey, Jess?
Gravy.
The gravy, was also made from some tomatoes from our garden. Little Roma tomatoes. How many Roma tomatoes are in that sauce? Gravy.
I think 3. 3 or 4.
So sauce made with tomatoes from the garden, and then eggplants grown in the garden. And you know, this whole garden thing was Jessica's idea. And if you see on the top of the eggplants, those like stems, those are just yellow, tiny little flowers when they grow on the vine. Or is it a vine or a stem? What is it, Jess?
It's a stem.
A stem. And it's just a little flower, and then all of a sudden this little tiny purple thing comes out, and then it grows into that, you know? So when we eat, like Sunday we had bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwiches with lettuce and tomato from our garden. How great were they, Jess?
That was awesome. That was good.
And we have this crazy tomato plant. Explain this tomato plant, just the one that hangs and we put.
It's called like a topsy turvy or something like that. I don't know, but it was a cherry tomato plant that was like as wide as a Vic's shoulders, and it grew where it hung over the sides. It was a hanging plant, and without exaggeration, we had to have taken 2,000 tomatoes off this plant.
2,000.
It was growing little grape tomatoes.
My neighbor's tomatoes.
Everybody gets tomatoes.
Everybody got tomatoes. As everybody gets basil, by the way. Our basil is out of control in the garden, and the neighbors come over and just pick the basil. But
no, this tomato plant just and then I thought it was dead, and it was over. You know, it had done its bloom and it was done, and then all of a sudden it started growing back.
Yeah.
This thing is just humongous.
Now,
And when we got it, it took the entire back seat up.
when we made the bacon, lettuce, and tomato sundae, and then with those little grape tomatoes, you make your world famous pasta salad, and the tomatoes are a little sweeter than you get in the store. Am I right?
They are. I think it's just because all this is grown completely organically. I don't use chemicals or anything. I just water it.
So the eggplant, and I know, am I being biased, or did they just taste better than eggplant that you buy in the store?
It was really good. It really was, I have to say. I mean, we've made eggplant a lot over the years, and this was by far the best eggplant I've had.
Are we ready to see it?
So after the pressing, then what? Then the layer of explain the layering of the eggplant, and then what's it up?
You have to bread it, so you dip
Oh,
the
right.
egg in milk like you would, I guess, French toast, and then breadcrumbs, which I just use plain breadcrumbs, and then Parmesan cheese, garlic, salt, and more parsley from the garden. And then I bake it, and then flip it until it's kind of crunchy, and then you layer it, kind of like lasagna. You know, you layer it, you put cheese, and then sauce, and then another layer of eggplant, cheese, and sauce,
And then you put it in the oven for how long?
until the cheese is melted. Probably about 20 minutes.
Okay.
Is all I did. I don't think there's a formula to it. I just kind of wing it.
And then it comes out looking like
Ta-da!
that. Oh my God, that was so good. We plowed through. Is that the smaller one or is that the bigger one?
I think that's I can't see it, but I think it's a smaller one.
That's the smaller one. So the bigger one is on the left of it. You can't see. We
No,
plowed through that in record time. And it was only like one portion each. Our dishes were piled up with eggplant. And the four of us, me and Jess and Mia and her friend Harry, and we plowed through that first one, and then that's what was left. And I don't even think there's that much left right now, is there?
No, there's about one serving. I did give some to the neighbor too, though.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, your neighbors probably just hover around.
She makes pasta vazul. Oh my God. She brings that right.
That I can't make not too much. I
Wait.
don't know how to make.
How do you word it though?
I can't make not too much.
Can't make not too much.
She always makes too much, no matter what she makes.
Make too much. I just can't.
She can't make less than she makes.
Cooking for 5 or more. I mean, my house being the one on the block that we always had at least someone that didn't belong to our family at our dinner table. I'm used to cooking too much.
So
and
that.
also fear of being like Vix and Alba, who like would bake one pan of pasta for 4
Okay,
people. So,
hold on.
and
Let me
would make fun of that. So
let me explain Aunt Alba. My mother's sister, Aunt Alba, her husband really was the cook. Uncle Al was really the cook, right?
Sure.
And he would make stuffed squid, Kalamata squid, and he would stuff the squid. Like you've gone to restaurants and get like the little fried rings of
Calamari.
Right. But he kept them whole and would stuff them with breadcrumb and pinoli nuts and all this stuff, and then serve it with red clam sauce. And then Aunt Alba would make pasta, and she'd give you like 3 strands of pasta, 3 strands of spaghetti. Why did she do that? She had so much money.
You have 15 people at the table with like 1 pan of pasta, and we all make 3 recipes. Because I didn't eat the squid sauce, I just wanted the pasta.
I felt like pitching in an extra 50 cents. Here, buy another pound of macaroni, for goodness sakes. All right. Well, Jess, it was so good, and so there's a portion left that maybe, I don't know, maybe you and I can share a little bit later.
I feel light too.
You're gonna have to duke it out with Mia. I'm out of that one.
Why?
I said you're gonna have to duke it out with Mia.
What about you?
No, I'm good. You're gonna have to duke it out with Mia.
No. If it comes between duking it out between me and Mia, I'm just eating it.
So did you guys put all of the eggplant into this pasta, or does it?
Did we cook all the eggplants, Jess?
Yeah, there were 8, but they're smaller than the ones at the store because I, of course, didn't use like growth hormones to make, eggplant the size of my head. They were all,
This was eggplant size.
They were eggplant size. They were small. They're not like the ones you'd see in the store. They were much smaller.
So how many eggplants is that? How many eggplants is that?
I used 8, but that would probably be 3 of the store ones.
Oh, okay. So there you go. So it's 8 normal-sized eggplants, and then you have the supermarket genetically, manufactured eggplant, which are gigantic. But it tasted better, and I don't think it's just because I'm biased, because it was ours and it was in our garden. I just think it was absolutely awesome. So thanks, Jess.
Awesome sauce.
Awesome
Oh, I see
sauce.
what you did there.
She waited the whole segment to say that.
How long? How long have you been waiting to say it?
I just thought of it. Very quick with it.
I don't believe that. I believe you had that ready.
Well, thanks for calling.
Thanks,
in.
Jess. I love you.
Thank you.
Love you.
Guys, have fun.
All right, thanks. So there she is, the master chef. She taught me how to cook a little bit, so I can cook a little bit, but not like she can. Like I don't think I would attempt that because.
So I'm doing a bit of gardening. at
Oh,
home.
I have no idea. Let's see. What do you got there?
These are
Rex is eating everything. Forget it. It's all gone. No more food for you.
This is a gourd. It has no function other than decorative. But I had the seeds, and I opened the seed pack, and I was like, "These are pumpkin seeds," and I was like, "Oh, these are gourd seeds."
Well, pumpkin
Gourd
is a gourd.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Everything. The whole world made sense to me all of a sudden.
Got it.
I planted 4 of them. This thing is. I won't need to mow the lawn anymore. This thing's gonna take over my yard.
Yeah. Do you have any cucumber there, or just the gourds?
It's just gourds. And there's also a sweet potato planted in there as well. I like to experiment with planting food that I didn't eat. Because I like to buy food and then not eat it. And then it grows into a plant. You don't have this problem at home because there's multiple people.
Yes, we're eaters.
Eaters.
Yes.
And
We are eaters.
My stuff will sit on the counter, grow sprouts, and then I'll put it in the backyard.
Wait a minute. Can I just comment on Rick's comment here? Rick says, Oprah gives away cars, Vic Porcelli gives away tomatoes. You get a tomato, you get a tomato, everybody gets a tomato. Thanks, Rick. Getting back to your gourd thing here. Now, you can eat pumpkins, right? I know I've eaten pumpkin pie.
Oh, yeah.
Why couldn't you make a gourd pie? Why? You said it was just decorative.
I don't know. It's very hard. They're not at that stage yet. I do have 3 gourds, but they're very small and hard. And
If it was easy, everyone would do it. It's the hard that
well,
makes it
we're
great.
gonna find out because there's one for each of us, so we can all.
Well, what? Start chewing on raw gourd? No way. You got to cook something with it. Cook a gourd pie.
Pumpkin is really good.
I don't know if I want her to. I've seen what Jen eats for lunch, and it always has a label on it.
What?
What does that mean?
She never cooks. I
You
never
don't
see her
cook?
cook.
I don't cook here.
Well, yeah, but you like.
What's your specialty? What do you cook that is your specialty?
I barbecue or grill salmon.
Oh.
And it's not really. You don't have to do anything. You just
Right.
get the salmon out of the freezer, put it on
Right.
the grill.
I think we're having swordfish tonight.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frozen.
But I've got a trick with the grocery store.
Bring it on.
I don't even. I'm scared to tell people about it. But if you like salmon, they always have those to-go packs up front.
Yeah.
Where they're like bake and take and bake or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Well, no one gets those. So they put them when they're about to go, or maybe just aren't sellable right in the front of the store. They put them back by the deli in a different case, and they're marked half off.
Oh, so inexpensive salmon, grilled
Yes.
salmon. So what do you put on it when you grill it?
Just salt, pepper, and maybe some like Italian seasoning. I make a lot of tacos at home.
Tacos are good.
My guacamole is the best.
Okay.
And I've always gotten in fights with past partners about the ingredients for guacamole.
Hit me.
Because in my opinion, it's garlic, salt, and avocado.
That's it?
No.
And some people like to throw the onions in there and the tomatoes.
And you gotta have cumin, and
I
you gotta
had-
have lime
I don't think
juice.
tomatoes. Cumin,
Lime
maybe.
juice is important. I had a horrible ex-boyfriend who used to put orange juice in it.
He's a
Is
monster.
that why he's horrible?
Monster.
Or were there other reasons
There's
why he
many,
was horrible?
many other reasons.
Got it,
but
got it.
Our butting of the heads over the guacamole was always a
So I
contentious
love
issue.
guacamole, but I could never just pick up an avocado and eat it like my daughter can.
I can.
There's something.
Well, you don't eat it like an apple. You have to take it out of the skin.
Yes, but my daughter opens up an avocado and then puts it on her eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she'll have a piece of toast and then a
Wait.
fried egg and then avocado on
Oh,
top.
like a whole thing.
Yeah, sandwich.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know the secret to avocado toast? It's butter.
Butter is the
You gotta add butter.
everything needs butter.
Otherwise, not too good.
Have you ever put butter on a Pop-Tart?
Oh, God,
It's so
no.
friggin' good. Sorry, it's a Family Guy reference. Can you find that?
I have a bit of a Pop-Tart problem.
Find Family Guy. Have you ever put butter on a Pop-Tart?
Have you ever?
So anyway, getting back to the cooking thing here, I've learned how to cook some things. Mostly the things I make are Italian things, you know. One of my favorite things to make and eat is, here we go.
Hold on, I gotta get there.
Yeah, well, I'll tell the story and then you play it. It's a dish called aglio olio, which translates into garlic and oil. And you just put, do you like, guys, either of you like anchovies?
Okay.
Only oil. I don't like the actual anchovies themselves.
Sometimes.
Well, here's the thing. So, the taste, but not the actual fish. Okay. So you buy 2 cans of King Oscar anchovies, and then you put olive oil and garlic. You fry that up, and then you throw the anchovies in. And then the key is you take a fork and you disintegrate. You actually disintegrate the anchovies. So there's nothing to bite in, but you get that anchovy taste. And a little parsley, and that's it. And you put it over linguine or spaghetti,
Okay.
and it's awesome.
I used to make a really good anchovy pasta.
That's what this kind of is,
Yeah.
except,
It's a nice, it rounds out the flavor.
Love it. Oh, my God.
Especially when you just like pulverize it so you can't really tell that you're eating a tiny
That's
fish.
exactly what I just said. Yeah, you put the fork in there and you pulverize it. In your words, I said disintegrate, but pulverize is a good word. And you don't have to bite into it or anything, but you get that taste. So that is my actually favorite thing in the whole world. My mother used to make it every Friday night because we were Italian growing up in New Jersey. So it was pasta 3 days a week. Right? Sunday was the big spaghetti and meatballs thing. Wednesday would usually have pasta with the red sauce, or as we called it, gravy. And then Friday she always made aglio olio. But the question is, have you ever put butter on a Pop-Tart?
Words again.
This is Peter Griffin and Quagmire, Glenn Quagmire, when they did a little,
I didn't know they were in a band.
it didn't last long.
And I saw a stick of butter and it almost made me shudder and scream like a baby girl. I don't want a giant penis or a rocket trip to Venus. I don't want to win the lottery. I just want to squat and gobble till I'm dizzy and I wobble in a butterfruit Joe's hot cream. So I put butter on a Pop-Tart. It was so frickin' good. Have you ever put butter on a Pop-Tart? If you haven't, then I think you should.
You gotta sing along now.
Everybody, come along with us. Have you ever put butter on a
Pop-Tart! Pop-Tart! That's it.
Oh, wow.
So that song that they're doing there is in the style of Simon and Garfunkel. I don't know if you caught that. So friggin' good. That's like the melody to The Boxer, I believe. The same kind of melody. And they went out in a little duo, and because they harmonized well, and then it didn't go well from there. They broke up. And, yeah. So anyway, any more food talk? Anybody got any more food talk? Anybody got anything to say except Rick? Bless his heart.
Is the audio going down? Is it on this screen? Can you?
Hey, Randy Stange, how are you? This is our podcast called Porcelli's Deli.
Can you hear me now?
Anybody hear us? You had lost sound for a couple minutes.
That was earlier.
I know,
Oh.
so I'm trying to figure out which screen it is that keeps going down so I can stop clicking on it.
Please stand by.
So, when you just played that video, you couldn't hear the video, but you could hear Vic yelling Pop-Tart
Oh
randomly.
my God, really?
You couldn't hear the video.
No, you couldn't hear the video.
Do they hear us now?
I don't think they lost us. I think they just didn't hear the
Oh,
video.
just the
Because
video.
I just turned it up on my phone to see if I could hear it, and I just heard you, like right when I added volume, you yelling Pop-Tart.
What an idiot. I'm sorry.
I mean, you can't even hear it over the microphone?
I didn't turn it up that loud to see. I just know as soon as I turn on volume, I hear Vic yelling, and there's no music.
Technology is such a pain in the booty.
If you ever put butter on a Pop-Tart, it's so friggin' good.
All right.
So the eggplant was awesome. It was homemade. It was homegrown. And I recommend it. Now, getting back to your garden, because we're kind of new at this garden thing. You'd think being Italians we would be better at it, but this is only kind of like our third year, and we're learning each and every year as we go. So one thing we've learned is cucumbers are the devil of gardens because they grow and kind of choke the other plants. Now here's a weird thing. You'd think a plant wouldn't have a brain or wouldn't be able to think, but guess what? They do this thing called trendling, right? So there's this little thing that grows out of the stem, looks like a little piece of pasta really, and then it wraps around anything it can find to pull itself up
It's funny
to get more sun.
that you say that because the gourd's doing the same thing.
See, there you go. So have you seen it happen?
I watch it happen as like you guys binge watch Money Heist. I watch the gourd climb and wrap around, and you can kind of give it a nudge, and it'll go around it on its own. And it kind of
Do you not
moves
feel like you're in a
alive.
right? That's what I'm saying. Do you not feel like you're in a horror movie when that happens?
Now on
like it's gonna go.
Netflix.
I'm just trembling around your neck. But cucumbers to me, almost worthless.
You don't like them.
I don't hate them.
Oh, I hate.
But if I'm gonna have something that looks like that, you bet it's gonna be a pickle.
Well, you can't get a pickle without the cucumber.
That's why I go to the store and I buy a jar of pickles.
I've actually done quite a lot of pickling of cucumbers.
So if you could take a cucumber and then pickle it, and make it taste like pickles.
Yeah, that's what pickling is.
I would like to try that.
You got to use the little ones.
Little what?
Little cucumbers.
Yeah.
Because nobody likes a big pickle. Although, I mean, they do sell big pickles, so somebody must
I do.
eat them.
I buy the big jar, like huge jars of Mount Olive pickles, and they're gone in a day at my house.
Huh. I like pickles, but I'm not crazy about
We
cucumbers.
currently have a drawer full of just individually wrapped giant dill pickles. We're a pickle family. But I hate cucumbers.
The brand that they sell at the local gas station of those pickles has the funniest packaging.
The Papas?
Next time you're in there, take a look. They all have little pickle characters, and each flavor has its own, like, cartoon pickle person.
So the kosher looks different than the dill.
Yes, yes.
Got it.
It's funny. It's definitely worth
So you
it.
talking about like the big Papa and then the spicy Mama?
You know.
I know. I'm familiar.
I have never purchased pickles at a gas station. Is all
I
I'm saying.
have not either. They still have the big jar too at my non-COVID compliant local gas station. I walked in there the other day and it was just out of sorts. And this is Virginia and Bates. I don't even know why I go in there. It's basically the corner of crime and loneliness.
Is that where that is? That's that
Yes.
corner? I know where crime and loneliness is.
There's kind of, you know
That is so funny.
that's next door, the social media for your neighborhood. You don't have this? Don't get it.
Oh, next door. Yes, we do have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Next Core.
No, right.
The solutions for all your brand.
Why don't you like next door?
Because people are constantly complaining about things. It's like, oh, did you hear the gunshot? I live in South City. There's guns going off constantly.
Ashbet. Which means wait. If I don't live in the city, so if there's a gunshot in my neighborhood, I want to know about it.
Sure.
So I'll start loading up that mag. But it's good because the latest Nextdoor post that I saw just over this past weekend was somebody stole my car right out of my garage. And that was in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So Nextdoor can be very...
I guess when you live in a place where there's not a lot of crime, it's less annoying.
Well, we kind of chose the not crime as opposed to crime, the corner of crime and loneliness, because we thought it would be more fun.
Well, see, you know, Friday my wallet got stolen out of my driveway. I must have dropped it, left in my car, I'm not sure which. And I posted on the neighborhood page. And I got yelled at because it was my fault. Because you should know what neighborhood you live in. That this was going to happen if you weren't responsible.
don't
You lost it, it wasn't
dropping your
stolen.
wallet in
Well, I got to say
bad
that
neighborhoods.
that is one very bad thing about Nextdoor is they're very provincial about their neighborhood Nextdoor
Oh, and
community.
fireworks season?
Oh my God.
I don't know why the solution to fireworks is to get on Nextdoor and tell everybody that your dog is scared.
Yeah.
And it is unfortunate that dogs... My dog is not fazed by either gunshot or firework.
Two of my dogs are not. One, the thunder makes him shake like a leaf.
There was one thunderstorm a couple weeks ago where I think the atmosphere was broken. Did you hear it?
Well, last night was pretty much too, but yes,
Last
I do
night was
remember that.
insane, but this was the loudest thunder I've ever heard in my
Yeah,
life.
I remember
my
that,
friend
yep.
was in like West County, and I messaged her, and she was like, "I heard it here."
Yep.
Like, literally, I think that's when aliens
That's when they came.
they broke through the stratosphere.
Broke the atmosphere, came on
But
in.
it was the only time that I saw Rex get startled.
Yeah,
So literally, it has to be the loudest noise in the heavens.
right.
Or he smelled the aliens.
Right? Maybe they had bacon.
Now on the subject of next door too, though, I have to say that there was a Saturday, and if my wife goes out back and closes the door and the dogs don't follow her out, they freak out and lose their minds. They need to be out there with her, you know. So she went out to go water the plants and, you know, cut off the bad branches. And Phantom, like the big dog, he'll look at the door, like if you're me, he'll look at the door, and when it closes, he'll go, she went out without me. Okay. So I got up and I let all three of them out. So about after 20 minutes or so, Jess comes in and she says, Sweeney's gone. He's the Bichon Poodle. He's gone. I'm like, what do you mean
He's gone.
gone? Because my dogs don't leave the yard. We have no fence, but they just stay in the yard. Well, Sweeney decided to go on a little merry stroll, and we put it up on Nextdoor. My wife put up a picture of her of Sweeney and said, my dog's missing. Have you seen him? And then some lady said, I think this guy has your dog. And sure enough, he did. So she drove down to his house and picked him up.
It is good for dog finding.
I have a theory about your dog.
My dogs?
Yes.
Don't be judgmental.
I'm
Go ahead.
not.
I'm just
I'm
kidding.
not.
Go ahead.
So you keep saying how they love to go outside. They love to go outside. I think it's because they know they have the advantage outside. They're the only ones that go outside.
Besides the cats. Is that
Well,
what you mean? And the fish?
yeah, all the other animals are inside animals, right?
Well, there's a little story behind that. We have 4 cats.
Mm-hmm.
None of them are. You always sat, and then he always sat.
Sure.
Oh no. Because in my house, she sits on here, I sit over here.
It's been
every night.
there's been so many different days, so I don't know if it was as habitual as your long-term marriage.
We might just be very habitual. I don't know. But anyway, when she's sitting on her thing, every animal in that house will come and visit her in about a 2-hour span. The cats like clock in. My turn with mommy, and then one will get on the couch with her and sit with her for a while.
There's
And
rotation going on.
there's a rotation. It's like shifts. It's like night shift.
Like a lifeguard.
It is. And the dogs all, like to sit with her. Phantom like to sit right under the couch there. Because dogs are very protective, and they want to be your protector.
Oh, yeah.
And if you do any sudden moves, if you're a stranger in my house and you do any sudden moves towards my wife, he won't bite you, again, because he knows there may be a treat in it for him if everything goes well. He will growl at you, though. And we had a dog named Muddy years ago. He actually died in 2007. That's how long ago we had him. But he would protect my wife and my kids to the death. My kids couldn't even play tag in our yard because if anybody was chasing any of my kids, he was all over them. So my daughter had a friend over, and I said to my kids, I said, if you have a friend over and you go upstairs or you go downstairs, make sure they go first, you follow. But they're kids, they don't remember. So Marielle goes shooting up the stairs, her friend follows her up the stairs, and Muddy bit her right on the ass. Because he was being protective, that's all.
Just why are you chasing my kid?
Right.
Yeah.
Stay away from my kid. All right, how's Rex? Are we checking on Rex?
We could do a Rex check. I don't know if here first though, let's have a.
Hi, Haley Stange.
Is Haley Stange related to Randy Stange?
Haley happens to be Randy Stange's daughter.
Okay, because Randy Stange, is he the one that he said, "What is this?"
Yes.
And then later I guess he realized what it was.
The Deli Returns.
I tell you,
He is the most awesome guy. I love him. Love Randy.
the best way to get comments is to turn off the audio.
Yes, right. So you know what? Let's do an experiment. Let's keep the audio on, but just mouth words, and then maybe somebody.
We could do the joke at the drive-through where you're like, "I'll have 2 fries and a
Right.
and large."
Or
And then?
we could also
And then, yeah.
we could also get an interpreter for the deaf to help out.
Oh man.
Now listen. I am not making fun of the deaf with the story I'm about to tell you, okay?
Absolutely not.
I understand your affliction, and I understand you want to be communicated to when every governor and every, mayor is on TV explaining what's going on with the riots outside. But the interpreters, I really think, are full of crap. I honestly do. I mean, I was watching one the other day, and she literally goes, I'm like, what are you saying? My God, those peppers are hot. What exactly are you saying? And there were times, like, okay, nobody notable, just like Nelson Mandela was talking, and the interpreter, the deaf interpreter, clearly didn't know what he was doing, and other people turned him in and called him out because he wasn't really doing anything.
Ugh. See, that bothers me.
And my wife, she's very smart. She says, why do we need a deaf interpreter at one of these press conferences? None of the press corps is deaf. If you're watching it on TV, you can do the closed captioning. Why do we need people to go, and the faces they make?
Well, maybe because it makes it look official.
What is official about? I'm not exaggerating. That's what they do.
They're very gesticular. Well, I mean, they're literally using their hands to talk. So I guess
there's a lot of
no way
expression that has
not
to come out of
be
it.
Why don't they mouth the words they're doing?
The
So if the lip reader.
faces they make and the exaggeration that goes into it sometimes is
And I'm telling you,
a little bit over the edge.
This must mean 1,000 different things because this one interpreter did that 1,000 times in the one press conference, and I'm like, she's not saying anything.
She's just like, these guys are idiots.
My God.
Can you believe?
You know, I hope that's what it was, honestly.
He's like, they hired an interpreter. There's nobody even deaf in the audience. This kind of brings up another story, which we'll get into, but let's play a promo that we recorded yesterday for one of our good friends.
The Twins?
And clients here. Yeah, Twins Red Carpet Wash is the best carpet.
Roll it.
Yeah, roll that footage.
Your car cost a fortune. If it's not looking that way, there's a way to turn back the clock and turn up the value. Schedule regular car detailings with Twins Red Carpet Wash. Whether you store or completely revive your ride, Twins will dramatically transform. Twins offers top-notch customer service and enjoy walking the red carpet every time you drop off your car. Call now and experience Twins Red Carpet Wash, simply the best car detailing service in St. Louis. Find out why Twins Red Carpet Wash has a 5-star Google rating and stellar Google reviews. Get your car washed and leave a review to receive a discount on your next wash. It's not clean until Twins says it's clean. Perfection in auto detailing is just a call away. Contact Twins at 314-391-9100 to book your appointment. Learn more about Twins' complete selection of service at twinsredcarpet.com. That's the kind of stuff we can do for you here at NextCore. So if you have a small business and you want us to let the world know about it, be sure you...
I think we might have froze.
Oh, no. We're frozen? Oh, we are frozen. That's a terrible face I got froze on there, too.
I know,
Can we do something else? Can we freeze in a little bit different of an angle or something?
Also noticed when I said gesticular, the subtitles wrote
Testicular. I knew it. I knew that was going to happen. Absolutely knew that was going to happen.
I love it. All right. Well, that may have been a little choppy. I think I need to make the file size smaller, not to bore you with technical details, but we are still trying to figure this all out. It's kind of new technology.
Hey, it's a new show. This is only the second day.
And I can't even use my own Apple TV. So, and not because the TV's in here, simply because I don't know how to operate it.
Right. We should probably...
Also because the TV is in the studio.
Yes, that's the second problem. Well, this problem didn't occur last week when I was watching Money Heist, is when I realized what was going on. Because the first thing that I watched was Love on the Spectrum, right? So when...
That's the one. Just explain it really quickly.
It's a show about people... Dating.
Autistic people dating.
Autistic people dating. Okay. There were some couples that were already together, and there were some not couples. There were some people searching for love. And so they kept going on dates with each other.
Right.
It was very touching and lovely, and it's nice to see people in the same boat as I. I'm not autistic, but I have trouble dating, as we all know. So
that has nothing to do with autism. No, Daddy, he has sarcasm.
Artistic, not art. So I'm watching this show, and I'm brand new Apple. It's not brand new. My dad gave me 2. He said 1 doesn't work. So maybe this is the one that doesn't work, maybe it isn't. I don't know, it's a crapshoot. I got a 50-50 chance. So I tossed this one on the turntable. And while I'm watching Love on the Spectrum with my new Apple TV, they tell me in the beginning, the red letter N unfolds into a spectrum of color.
Which is exactly what it does.
It does do that.
So that's not closed captioning. You're hearing that?
Yes.
Who does that advantage? What is that?
Blind people.
Apparently,
blind people.
There's the closed captioning, which is one setting.
For the deaf people.
But then there's this other setting. Right. But I didn't realize this. I watched the entire season of Love on the Spectrum, and I'm just like, it's so odd how she's telling me the color of his bowling ball.
Right.
And I just thought it was part of the show. And every time a new show starts, the red letter N would unfold into a spectrum of colors.
Yeah.
So finally I get to Money Heist, and I'm watching it, and the red letter N unfolds into a spectrum of color, only this time a man's saying it. And then he tells me that people in red jumpsuits are passing water bottles to each other as they sit on the floor. And I was like, oh no, not this show too.
Right.
So I Googled it.
What an odd coincidence that 2 shows I'm watching give you an audio explanation of what's happening.
So I Google it, figure out how to turn it off. But at the end of the show, it resets itself. And the red letter N always explodes now, I think.
Oh, it's not unfolds?
It is unfolds, but I say explodes because that's really what it's doing.
But unfolds is more accurate.
It's what they say, but if you look at it,
it explodes?
It's exploding into a spectrum of colors.
It unfolds.
So I gotta go change the setting every time I watch any show before I watch it. Or I just let it roll and leave the room.
Right.
And then I can kind of see what's going on.
You have that habit of leaving the room when you're trying to watch something. Now, let's watch. I just want to see what the N actually does. So I'm just going to start shameless here, just for kicks.
To a spectrum of colors.
So.
I kid you not.
Here's the pilot. Wait, it's passed by the N, unfolding into a spectrum of colors. What is happening here?
It's not a Netflix show.
Oh, it needs to be a Netflix show.
It does.
So let's go down a little bit. Has either of you seen the Michael Jordan thing, by the way?
What Michael Jordan thing?
It's like a little documentary series on Michael Jordan's
Is that on Netflix?
career, yeah.
There's some.
Which one? This one? Not that.
The ones that have a N in the top left corner are the Netflix shows.
So, whatever that is. Previously, nope. I don't know. I'll have to do some more investigating and report back to you in the morning.
If they do it every time a show starts.
I feel it's an unfold. I think they have it correct.
It turns
It turns sideways because it's unfolding. It's unfolding the end that was not once crunched is now unfolded.
You guys watch.
The blind people are counting on us. Don't you understand? The blind people want to know, is this N unfolding or is it exploding? And how would I know? I'm blind. I don't even know what that means.
It's good to know that people with visual impairment are not safe from marketing.
Right. Right.
as well. Like, we're all getting it, no matter what.
Right.
They're gonna make sure that it's communicated.
I do like the accommodations though. I mean, you can watch a movie with closed captioning if you're
If you can
deaf.
figure out how to do it, I mean, I would imagine you're gonna have someone come over and set the settings for you, because there's no way to tell what you're doing with that remote control.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's more useful for you anyways because you leave the room every time you watch TV. So now they can explain it to you and you still know what's
don't
happening.
even need to watch
You
it.
just have to listen.
But what cracks me up with Jen is she watches Money Heist, which isn't even in English, and then leaves the room. Like she's bilingual, and she goes, "Oh, todos los patos."
I want to
She
watch
didn't even
it.
realize it was in Spanish at first.
She thought it was in Russian.
These are the Russian guys, but now when you look at everyone, they are kind of solid.
And, you know, I was thinking about this yesterday on my way home, this conversation, and just the reason that they're robbing the Spain Mint made me
Alone
think
should have been-
that it was a Spanish show and not a Russian show. That once every 5 episodes, Helsinki or Oslo says something. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay.
Like I said, not keenly paying attention to any of it. I did watch Love on the Spectrum every second. I was sat right there.
And let me ask you a question. Isn't it so enjoyable to actually pay attention to what's going on
Occasionally.
in the show?
Right, you get all of the details.
So you make a mystery you're watching even more mysterious because you don't know what the hell's going on.
I'm the worst person to watch. Like, I'll just ask questions. I don't want you to answer them. It's just sort of like a verbal diarrhea that I have. But people will be like, all right, let me pause it and explain the entire Marvel series to you. And, you know, how Stan Lee developed this whole system of superheroes over the course. And I'm like, no, I don't.
It began in 1962.
I do. Look, can we just get through Doctor Strange without pausing it for a long tutorial?
Yeah. I had a experience one time. My son and my girls, this is when they all lived in the house. There was a time when all my kids lived at my house. I miss that. Well, my son lives in Oklahoma. One of my daughters lives in Denver.
I have spare children if you would like.
Right? Becca's got that.
We may be able to work out a rental program.
There you go.
So we were going to watch, they wanted to watch Star Wars The Force Awakens. Okay? So Star Wars, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings here. A New Hope or whatever they call it now. It was just called Star Wars.
Straight, 2 words.
I think I might have even seen The Empire Strikes Back in theaters. Then I kind of lost interest a little bit. Return of the Jedi was okay.
With the Ewoks.
And then the other 3 that weren't in the right order started to confuse me. So I just kind of tuned out. I don't dislike Star Wars. So please, no Star Wars death threats from anybody. But I didn't realize what happens as the series went on. So the kids want to watch Star Wars The Force Awakens. So the
Way out of touch then on it. You're not up to date at all.
Let me explain to you how out of touch and out of date I am. Movie starts. Dun, with that music that, you know. And I said, oh, they play this music on every film? That was my question. None of them answered me. Then the word started coming up, you know, a long time ago, a galaxy far, far away. I said, oh, they do that word thing every movie? And they started to like just nod a little bit. Then the stormtroopers came, and I said, "Are stormtroopers good guys or bad guys?" I couldn't remember because I didn't see it. And then something went by, this little ball went by. I said, "Oh, is that Wally?" I thought it was Wally, and they turned it off. They couldn't watch it anymore because
They're taking this Disney buyout very seriously.
it looked like Wally. Have you seen Wally?
Yes.
Do you like Wally?
Isn't that the one about environmentalism or something?
Yes.
'Cause the
Not just
planet
environmentalism,
is
but
trash.
how big fat slobs we can become if we really let it happen.
Yeah.
Like they sit in chairs and watch TV screens that has a picture of the person that's sitting right next to you that you're talking to because you're too lazy to turn your head and say hello.
Right.
But Wally is on the Earth. Earth is not inhabited anymore. So it's Wally's job to take all the stuff and he compacts everything and he piles it up. But he keeps things that he likes. So he keeps a VCR and he keeps a version of Carousel, the musical, on the VHS, and he watches that. And finally he finds a plant. And the plant is what they were looking for to try to re-inhabit the Earth. So then he meets Eve. I wish my daughter Mia was here because she does a great Eve. He goes, Wally! Anyway, I thought the thing that went by was Wally. They couldn't take it anymore. They turned it off.
Well,
So-
speaking of VHS, when I was a kid,
Yeah.
we had Cinemax for 1 year.
Uh-huh.
And during that year, my parents recorded every single movie that they put on it. And so, trapped in time was a drawer that you would open, and it was the first 2 Star Wars, not the last one, and every single movie that you could possibly think of that came out that year.
Right.
Can't Buy Me Love,
Right.
Back to the Future 1 and 2,
Right.
the first 2 Star Wars. It was hilarious.
Well, I remember just getting cable TV was a big deal. You know, when I grew up, we had Channel 2, Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 7, Channel 9, and that was it. And you had to get your ass up off the couch and turn the thing on the television to turn the channel. And then I used to watch professional wrestling. I told you that story. I used to watch professional wrestling on the Spanish station, which was on UHF, which was Channel 47, which was a whole... Remember the radio? You had to tune in like this? UHF was like that. You had to kind of just find the right thing to make the picture go. So then we got cable TV. Lost our minds because we could watch home box office.
Nice.
Nobody called it HBO at the time. It was home box office.
Is that what HBO stands for?
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
Yeah. And no, we weren't cool enough to say HBO. Nobody, even on TV, they didn't call it HBO. They called it home box office, And the cable box was connected with a wire to the television set, and it had 3 rows, row in the middle and then a row on the bottom, and then a little switch. So if you put the switch all the way up, you were pushing buttons on the top row. It was the same set of buttons, but if you went on the middle, it was the middle section and then the bottom. And then VHS machines came out. My father was the king of gadgets, when I tell you. He was the first person, I never even heard of a CB radio. My father had a CB radio in 1972. He had one in the kitchen, was called Viking Bass.
Wow.
And then he had one in the car called Viking Mobile. And on his way home, he'd go, Viking Mobile to Viking Bass. And we go, oh, come in, Viking Mobile, this is Viking Bass, And then he would say, do you need anything? It was almost like having a cell phone now. Do you need anything? Yeah, we need milk, eggs, and bread. Over. You gotta say over.
I also grew up in a house with a CB radio. Lots of fun. I was Girl Scout cookie when I talked to truckers.
I love that. When you talk to truckers.
My dad was a truck driver, so
I believe he was talking to Jen back in the day.
I've talked to him.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
But CB was great because, and this is before, by the way, Smokey and the Bandit came out. When the movie Smokey and the Bandit came out, everybody had a CB radio. My father had one because he had to have everything gadgety, everything electronic-y first. He had to be the first one to have it. So we'd use the CB radio. So then the VHS comes out. I think we actually had a Betamax.
Oh, before the VHS.
The real
That we had to get rid of because that was complete crap.
Yeah.
And then we got the VHS. And it's like you said, we recorded everything. When I tell you everything, we recorded everything. I have on VHS, you can find it on the internet now, but do you guys remember the Twilight Zone movie?
Mm-hmm.
Vic Morrow played the racist, and he was actually killed in the making of the movie because that helicopter scene that they didn't put in chopped off his head and the 2 kids he was carrying and killed them, all 3 of them. And on the news, they put that on the news.
In the movie or in real life?
Well, it really killed them in real life.
Well, because, you lose your head.
But that scene was not included in the movie because obviously you're not going to put Vic Morrow actually getting killed.
Oh, wow.
And the actual
That's what we call
script.
it snuff film, ladies and gentlemen.
Snuff film.
And the actual, because here was the deal with that story. He was a racist, hated black people, hated Jewish people, hated everybody. So the Twilight Zone put him in situations that they were in, So he was a black person in quotes, and he was going to get lynched by the Ku Klux Klan, so he could see and feel and empathize with what those people went through. And then he was a Jew with the star on his thing, go into the train to go to Auschwitz, and then he was in Vietnam because he didn't like Asian people either. He had a word I'm not going to use for Asian people, and that was the scene when he's carrying these 2 kids because he gets cured of his bigotry, and he's going to save these 2 kids, and this helicopter falls and kills all 3 of them in the filming of it.
What a crazy story.
Can I tell you another?
Yeah, please.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just, it happened on the Twilight Zone. It's almost like the law of attraction.
Hmm.
It's a
Interesting.
very Twilight Zone thing to happen to the Twilight Zone.
Exactly right. By the way, I watched an Alfred Hitchcock Presents show last night, and it was star-studded when I tell you. Frank Gorshin was in it, who played the Riddler on Batman, on the TV show. Martin Landau was in it. We all know Martin Landau. Martin Landau? Ed Wood? No? Anyway, legendary actor.
I don't know current actors. I
And
just
John
know-
Marley was in it, who was in The Godfather. Anyway, sorry. So, getting back to the Twilight Zone, and so Animal House. Have we seen Animal House?
Yes.
Okay. At the very end of the show, at the end of the movie, they have the screen stops and it tells you what happens to all the characters. You know, the two got married, and Hoover went on to write for National Lampoon. And Niedermeyer, remember who Niedermeyer was? What's that on your uniform? A pledge pin on your uniform. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
You've seen Animal House? You said yes.
One time, yeah.
He's the biggest jerk in the whole movie.
Mark
Anyway.
Metcalf, wasn't it?
Yes. And he, so the thing says, Greg Niedermeyer, whatever his name was, Mark Niedermeyer, whatever it was, Niedermeyer was a soldier, a captain, lieutenant. He was. Same director, John Landis,
Yeah.
directed both movies.
Have you seen the episode with William Shatner
Of what? Episode of what?
of Twilight Zone?
Nightmare at 20,000 Feet? Of course.
When he's on the airplane.
Yeah.
So I saw William Shatner perform live one time.
Oh.
On
How was
Maui.
that?
Well, let me tell you this.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was there with Brian, not Adams, Evans, whose claim to fame was Kimmy's boyfriend on the Full House, but he's now gone on to be like a Frank Sinatra type singer. So, and also he produces events like bringing William Shatner to the Shelton on Maui. And so we're on, basically William Shatner's just brought his family to Hawaii for vacation and probably decides to do a live performance to cover all the bills. But he also has Doug the Bounty Hunter with him.
Wow.
Which was just the weirdest lineup
They
ever.
hung out?
Well, Doug presented him an award, and he was just one of the MCs. It was such a strange group, a motley crew of guys. So it's Maui, and everybody's like hippied out, and this woman in the back wants to give William Shatner something. It's a spirit stick.
What could possibly go wrong with a spirit stick handed to you by a tourist in Hawaii?
And it is his wife's birthday, by the way. There's cake and everything they're going to get to later that's like on the side. And the woman comes up, approaches the stage with the spirit stick, and she's like, I just want to give you this stick. And William Shatner's just like, ma'am, please take a seat. And he just keeps telling her to sit back down. Please sit back down. Well, she does, next to his wife in the front row.
Oh, wow.
And things just kind of get out of hand from there. And they all end up leaving.
Who?
The
Who's
whole
all?
crew.
Okay.
Doug the Bounty Hunter,
Shatner.
Brian, just kind of walk out of there in the most epic scene if you've ever seen those three people walk towards you. Well, you never see those three people together.
If
let
I do,
alone-
I hope I have a spirit stick in my hand. Back off!
Don't come at me like that, Doug.
Right.
So yeah, they ended the show early because the lady tried to give William Shatner a spirit stick.
Well,
Wow.
See, I would have a stick just to keep Shatner away from me.
That's a spirit
I
stick.
do
That's
not.
a Shatner stick.
I do not like William Shatner. I've actually met him. At a convention. He was one of the meanest people that I've ever met during a meet and greet. He was
Have you ever
awful.
seen Saturday Night Live did a sketch one time where it was one of those Star Trek conventions, and William Shatner comes out to talk to all the Trekkies and everything, and he's like, "What's the matter with you people? Get a life! What's wrong with you?" But I think it was like that in real life.
He's kind of like that in real life.
Kind of like that in real life.
He's kind of awful.
He makes music.
Which is not music.
It's kind of like spoken word music. Have you heard any of it?
Rocket Man.
Yeah.
burning out your fuse out here alone. Of course, Chris used to do that. My son used to do it at the piano bar. He'd have a cigarette and a drink, and he'd do Rocket Man like William Shatner. But I want to get back to 20,000, Nightmare at 20,000 Feet.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think I have to worry about spoiling an episode that is 50 or 60 years old. Am I right? Can I just talk here?
Sure.
Okay. So William Shatner's on a plane, and he's a little nervous to fly, and he looks out his window, and there's a gremlin on the wing of the plane, right? And the gremlin is sabotaging the plane, which, by the way, is one of those myth stories. Like even Bugs Bunny talks about it in one of the things about
Gremlins do.
Gremlins perform sabotage. He goes. So, of course, there is no gremlin on the wing of the plane. As far as everybody else is concerned, they think he's crazy, and they take him off to the crazy house at the end of the thing. But getting back to the Twilight Zone movie, John Lithgow.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
John Lithgow.
Third Rock from the Sun. John Lithgow.
Okay.
Third Rock from the Sun. Did you watch Dexter?
A little bit.
He was the murderer in that one season. Season 4 was all about his terrible character.
Okay.
Did you watch the Pet Sematary remake? He's in that.
To season 4.
He is awesome. Just look at his face so you know who I'm talking about.
Littner?
What?
What is it?
Yeah, John Lithgow, right there. Click on John
Oh,
Lithgow.
that
He was
guy.
in Footloose.
What movie was he in the 80s?
Footloose.
No. Henry and the Hendersons.
Yes.
There you go.
So John Lithgow.
Why didn't you just say that?
John Lithgow. I'm sorry. Why did we not just say Harry and the Hendersons?
You know, what's funny is that was my next one.
Oh, God. So John Lithgow plays the part that William Shatner played in a remake of the because the movie is all the same episodes redone.
Okay.
Okay, so they do Nightmare at 20,000 Feet with John Lithgow in the William Shatner part, and of course the Gremlin is a little more technologically animated or
Yeah.
whatever. You know, it looks kind of cooler.
It's feistier.
And so now I want you guys to both know that there is a series on CBS All Access, which is a streaming platform which you have to pay like $10 a month for. And they have a new Twilight Zone series with Jordan Peele doing the narration that Rod Serling used to do. And there are, see now I can't spoil this.
Right. 'cause
Well, see, he's not just hosting it; he's producing it and everything.
No, it's his show, absolutely. But as far as the episode goes, I can't spoil anything. But there are Easter eggs in it that you have to
throw
see.
back to the old.
Yes, not even the movie, but back to the show.
Oh wow.
It's really good. Some of the episodes are kind of crap, but some of the episodes are absolutely awesome. Especially episode 1 of season 2. There's 2 seasons. I binged that first season in 1 day. 1 day. And then I went back and binged the second season. And the first episode of the second season is typical, perfect Twilight Zone story.
Well, I'll watch that one.
And if you do, watch for the. Wow, we're almost out of time.
I know. This last half an hour. Or so.
Watch them all, and then you'll see the Easter egg I'm talking
No, I
about.
won't do that.
But you know
I
what
don't
she'll
have
do?
that kind of
She'll
time.
go back and go on Snapchat and make lasers come out of her eyes. So before we run out of time, our show is brought to you by DriveOnMotorsports.org or Drive On Motorsports. You can get to them at DriveOnMotorsports.org. And our pal Sam Alvarez is the guy who runs that and owns that. And he's going to join us tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the deli and tell us a little bit about what he's doing for veterans with PTSD. I absolutely love and admire this guy, and I can't wait to have him in here. Now, we were supposed to have Dre, is that his name?
Yeah, Dre Montez.
Dre Montez, and hopefully we'll have him next week.
He has promised to come in on Monday.
And Johnny Henry, oh God help me. Johnny Henry, great local singer and songwriter, is coming in on the 19th. So, actually, I just got message by someone who may have somebody who is the head of the Actors Studio here in St. Louis to come in and talk about their fundraiser going on.
I'm excited for that.
Yes.
Do you know I have bad dreams about this? I don't know if you understand.
About a rainbow.
That's what I hate.
I have a picture
I hate
to show
that
you,
the
by
most.
the way.
I don't know. I don't think I want to see it.
So if you are a musician, if you make music, if you have a small business. If you have a small business and you're a veteran, we want to feature you one week like we're featuring Drive On Motorsports all this week, and get your business some exposure and notoriety, because we think that's what we should do. And so that'll be
Come in and talk to us.
tomorrow. Will be
Contact
Sam.
us. You can send us a video. We can play that, or you can
Right.
come in ahead of time. We can do pre-recorded Zoom calls.
Right.
We're hoping to be interviewing Tempo of the Dogs on tomorrow. So
Let's mention her real quick again. That's Joda,
Joda,
who has Tempo of the Dog, not Temple of the Dog, but
Nona-
Tempo of the Dog.
Tempo, yeah.
So
Nona's Mutt Balls is her product. She is one of the fosters, a heavy foster with Tempo of the Dogs, and they have a bunch of puppies that need some foster care right now.
and eventually forever homes.
Absolutely.
So we have to take care of that.
They just need all the love.
Yes. So thank you so much for watching and listening. Porcelli's Deli. We'll be back tomorrow at noon. And anything to close out? Any important facts? Any important tidbits before we leave? Becca,
I never have anything.
go home and wake up your husband, because he's asleep but yet still messaging us at the same time. Go home, give Rex a hug.
I get to go to the dentist today.
Oh.
It's a good visit, though. We'll talk about it later.
My wife and I can recreate a dentist office sound, because she has this thing that she does with her nails. Like it's like a drill, I guess, or sander kind of thing. But it sounds like